Is death a permanent end for humans' ability to interact? Some cultures believe the dead still commune with the living. Others believe death totally cut them off, that communication with the departed is totally impossible. Do the spirits of the dead therefore cease to exist upon death? Welcome to Invisible Dimensions, where we share our mystical, paranormal, and supernatural encounters. Her beloved husband Henry had just recently died a few months back, and his relatives wanted her out of the home. They didn't care she had a 2-year-old son with the deceased. Neither did they care that she was expectant with their second child. All they wanted was to take over their brother's property, and she was standing in their way. They had accused her of killing him. She never defended herself. They had incited all her servants to desert her in the home alone. Being a huge home, they knew a young, expectant, grieving widow could not manage alone. Hence, if all the servants left, she would ideally be exposed and overwhelmed and decide to leave. Fortunately, all the servants were loyal to her. None of them left. They paid thugs to attack them at night. The police came through just in time. None of the occupants of the home was harmed. But still, the young widow did not leave. She stayed put. They did not understand. Even after all that harassment, she still chose to stay. They decided to confront her directly, to bring the war to her doorstep. First, they went to their caretaker who collected rent from all the deceased's rentals and instructed him to be diverting all the money he collected into their account. The caretaker refused. He told them he only recognized Madame, the young widow, and would take no instructions from anyone else. They went to the area chief, offering him a bribe. They tried to convince him to allow them do succession secretly. The chief turned them down. He told them without the widow, he could do nothing. They were furious. Henry's older sister, Melody, called her directly, infuriated. "You woman!" she screamed at her angrily over the phone, enraged. "How many months has it been since our brother died? How many months has it been? I am asking you. The mourning period ended a long time ago. Why are you still stuck in our home? What are you doing in our home? Are you waiting for us to literally drag you from there? Leave our home and just go. Leave our home and go. We, Sisundi's children, will decide who remains in our home to take care of it, not you." "Do you want me to leave?" Sharon, the widow, had asked calmly, her voice firmly steady and phased. Melody, disconcerted by how tranquil Sharon sounded, suddenly disconnected the phone. She had expected Sharon to scream back at her, cursing. She didn't. Even after this direct confrontation, Sharon still stayed put. She didn't leave. People pitied her and wondered what was wrong with her. She was still young, barely 30, with her whole life ahead of her. She could easily start all over again, afresh, somewhere else. Why was she so set on staying? She had a stable job. It wasn't like she would be destitute if she left. "Sharon, my dear child," her mother had begged her, "please come home. Those people, the Shisundi family, have openly shown you they do not want you there. You are expectant for Christ's sake. Your 2-year-old son needs you. You very well know that in that home, your life is in danger. Take a break. Come home, even if it is only until you deliver. Then you can go back to your own home. Right now, our priority is saving the life of your unborn child, even if your own life means nothing to you. She politely listened to her mother, but said nothing. Sharon, her mother continued imploringly, do not worry about the millions you have invested in that home. Your life is worth a lot much more to us than any money. Come back to us. You still have a good job. Your father and I will support you to start all over again. Cut your losses and come back to us alive. It was not the money that made Sharon stay. Actually, she didn't even care about the money. She had gotten married to Henry when she was already working. By then, she had been earning 5 times what her husband made in a month from his business. In fact, people whispered that Henry had only married her for her money. Sharon didn't mind. All the wealth Henry's family wanted to grab had come from her. It was just that culturally, when a woman got married, she moved into the man's ancestral home. When Sharon got married to Henry, he had no house. He was living in a small, semi-permanent house that had once belonged to his older brother. Together with Sharon's money, they had built a huge mansion in Henry's home. The mansion had made people jealous, even his own siblings. Within no time, they had bought a plot in the capital and built another mansion. Sharon invested millions in Henry's business, which had gone down. The business peaked and started thriving. Despite all his weaknesses, Henry had an eye and acumen for business. The business soon started raking in millions. Within a very short time, Henry and Sharon were multi-millionaires. The wealth Henry's family now claimed, Sharon truly didn't care for the wealth. With the money she was earning from her job, she could easily recover all those millions in just about 2 years. Something much more than money glued her to that home. People did not understand. It was a promise she had never really committed to, but now felt obliged to fulfill. How does one just go back on the wishes of the dead? Sharon pondered over this for long. It gave her sleepless nights. Apparently, for a whole year, the year within which Henry died, all the Shisundi family had known he was going to die. It was something to do with Henry being sacrificed at the family altar that the family serviced. When Sharon first heard that within the year Henry will be given as a sacrifice to the family gods, she had laughed her heart out. What kind of nonsense is this? She had asked Henry, still laughing. Surely there is nothing like human sacrifice. Those are just stories we used to hear in high school, growing up to frighten us. Even as she laughed heartily, she realized that Henry was not laughing with her. In fact, he really looked scared. Henry, Sharon had called, alarmed. Surely you are not worried, are you? There is no truth in this story, is there? I need you to come clean right now and tell me what is going on. Is there something going on in your family that I don't know of? In case I die, will you leave? Henry had asked instead, searching her eyes. Henry, come on. What are you talking about? She asked anxiously. No one is dying. You're scaring me. Is there truth to the rumor that you will die within the year? Listen very carefully. Henry had said calmly, holding her gaze, his voice pleading. If I die, please don't go. Please promise me. Promise me that you will stay and take care of our home and the business empire that we have built together. I need to hear you say it. Tell me that you will not abandon our home when I die. Of course, I can't stay, Sharon had blurted jokingly, amused, a glint in her eye. I only have one child with you, for God's sake. I'm only 28 years. If you drop dead right now, what will I be doing in this huge home alone? I assure you, I will live. So you better not die on me. We have a whole lifetime of boredom together. There's no escape for either of us. Get a boyfriend or something. My best friend, Fred, he will inherit you. Anything, but don't leave, Henry entreated, his eyes tearing. Are you serious? Sharon had asked, astounded, for the very first time, grasping just how grave the matter at hand was. Are you serious? You are going to die? All along, I have been thinking this was a joke. Please, Sharon, I'm begging you, Henry had implored helplessly. A few months later, Sharon became pregnant with their second child. 3 months later, Henry died alone in his sleep in their house in the capital where he stayed. Sharon was beyond shocked. She was perplexed. She was stunned. She had taken it as a joke when rumors abounded that Henry would die within the year. They did come without any prior warning. Sharon was beyond shocked. She was perplexed. She was stunned. She had taken it as a joke when rumors abounded that Henry would die within the year. The day did come without any prior warning. Sharon didn't know witchcraft. She didn't believe in witchcraft. Now that her husband was dead, just like that, without having been sick, she started questioning her beliefs. There is nothing as final as death. At first, Sharon had thought it a bad dream, a horrible nightmare from which she would awake. But the day did come when Henry was buried and Sharon was left to pick up the pieces alone. Inconsolable, she had questioned her husband's relatives. How was it possible that they had all known he was going to die, yet did nothing? Was there truth to the sacrifice rumors? His relatives were infuriated. It was like she had touched a live wire. How could she dare expose such a highly guarded family secret? In fact, them wanting her out of the home had more to do with the family's secret gods than with Henry's wealth. They felt threatened. They felt exposed. She could no longer be part of the family. She had to go, by all means, vacate the home. There was a wooden bench under a big tree that grew just outside the village mansion. Early mornings, the family would sit there sunning themselves, and most afternoons or early evenings, on days when it didn't rain, they would rest on that bench. On this afternoon, the sun ablaze, Sharon sat on the bench under the tree's shade, alone, resting. A few meters away from where she sat was her husband's grave. Culturally, they buried their dead directly in front of their houses and not cemeteries. Still grieving, she was overwhelmed with sorrow. She had been sitting on the bench for some time when suddenly, out of nowhere, two strange, undescribable beings appeared in front of her. Within a blink of an eye, the beings transformed into normal human beings. It was her maternal grandmother, Margarita, who had died many years back when Sharon was still an adolescent. In all those days, Sharon had never, ever even dreamt of her. She never even thought about her, considering that they had not been close when she was alive. The one Sharon had been closest to was her paternal grandmother. But now, standing right in front of her was Grandma Margarita. Sharon could sense that the one accompanying her was a close friend. It was surreal. Sharon was alarmed to see them, but not scared. She knew it was unnatural seeing them, but she didn't feel threatened by the presence. In fact, she strangely felt safe. Intuitively, she had felt they were not there to harm her. She remained seated as they remained standing. She could see that Grandma Margarita was totally transformed. She had died a hairless, old woman whose body had been ravished by throat cancer. But standing in front of her was this amazingly beautiful young black woman. In fact, younger than Sharon herself, with a head full of soft, short black hair with glowing skin in a beautiful dress. Whoever said that in heaven we will be given new bodies was absolutely right. Grandma Margarita was totally unrecognizable. Sharon kept staring, unable to say a word. Sharon, dear, I just came to tell you that you are in immense danger. In this home, you are not safe. You have to leave. Grandma Margarita telepathically communicated lovingly, her eyes kind. Grandma, where will I go? To whom will I leave this home? I'm sorry, but I cannot leave. I promised my husband that I would stay. I intend to keep that promise, Sharon communed back. You don't understand. Grandma Margarita beseeched her patiently. Your life is in grave danger. You have to leave immediately. Thank you, Grandma, Sharon said defiantly. I know you mean well for me, but my mind is made up. I can't leave. This home will collapse without me. I owe it to my late husband to see to it that it doesn't. I made a promise. I have to stay. Her grandma tried to convince her some more, but Sharon adamantly refused. All this while, Grandma Margarita's friend, who was equally beautiful, said nothing. They didn't stay for long. When Grandma realized that Sharon was not going to change her mind, they changed back into the bodies they had first arrived in, and in a flash vanished. It was when Sharon suddenly woke up and sat up in bed that she realized it had all been a dream. She was surprised because the dream had been so vividly real. A few days later, Sharon learned the hard way that a dream is never just a dream. That afternoon, she had just had lunch. As she stood from the dining table to leave, she immediately felt a warm liquid run down her legs. She quickly removed the lasso she had tied around her waist. Looking down at her feet, all around her, the snow white tiles were bathed in blood. It was a lot of blood. Dazed, she screamed, clutching her belly. No, 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 no. This can't be happening. Please, God, don't do this. Don't do this. My pregnancy is not even 6 months yet. She prayed died desperately. She was hastily rushed to the hospital. Unfortunately, by the time they got there, the baby had already come out, a miscarriage that nearly cost her life as well. She lost too much blood and went into shock. Luckily, she had been revived. The recovery went well. It had been a baby boy who looked exactly like his father. Sharon wailed uncontrollably. She was inconsolable. She could not believe she had lost a baby just a few months after burying her husband. While still in hospital, Sharon learned that her house help had been paid by her in-laws to put some concoction in her food, which she had done. It was immediately after Sharon had eaten the food that the miscarriage happened. Sharon's parents arranged for her to forcefully move back into their home. They told her to cut her losses and run. After such a near brush with death, they could not allow her to go back to her matrimonial home. Mom, Sharon nervously whispered to her mother a few days later. You know, a few days ago, just before the miscarriage, Grandma Margarita came to me in a dream with her friend. They had come to warn me that my life was in danger and I needed to leave my home. But I was defiant. She pleaded with me for some time and left. When I woke up, I downplayed the whole thing because it had just been a dream. I ignored it. You foolish child, her mother admonished. Learn to take your dreams seriously. Do you know how many people in the Bible got life-changing revelations through dreams? Countless. Maybe if you had heeded the dream, you would still be pregnant right now. Sharon still wonders to this day. Do our dead relatives look out for us from the afterlife? Do they somehow influence our lives to some degree? Is it wrong to have paranormal encounters with them? Do the dead truly know nothing? How does one even know which dreams to take seriously and which ones to disregard? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Until next time.